The word thief landed before the studio applause had finished. Victor Crow did not raise his voice. He did not have to. 20 cameras were already pointed at my 10-year-old daughter, and the red live light above the Vale Grand ballroom doors made every whisper national. "That recipe belongs to me," he said. "Remove her station." Lily froze with both hands around a copper mixing bowl. Flour marked one cheek. On the counter beside her sat the orange cardamom crown she had spent 6 weeks learning to shape, its braided dough still waiting for the oven. I crossed the floor before the floor manager could reach her. "Do not touch my daughter's work." Victor adjusted the cuff of his white chef's jacket. He was 42, silver beginning at his temples, handsome in the careful way television rewarded. "Evan, this is unfortunate enough without you making it theatrical. You called a child a thief on live television. I identified stolen intellectual property." He turned toward the nearest camera. "My orange crown was registered 11 years ago. The contestant's formula is identical down to the finishing syrup." A producer slid a page onto the judge's table. Victor's name appeared above a typed ingredient list beside a registration seal. The audience murmured. Lily found her voice. "My mom wrote it." Victor's expression softened for the camera. "Your mother worked in my development kitchen. I understand why you might be confused." I felt Lily's fingers close around the back of my jacket. Then Claire Vale walked onto the set carrying my late wife's cookbook. The ballroom changed around her. Claire moved as if panic were an administrative error she intended to correct. Midnight blue suit, ivory blouse, long black hair controlled over one shoulder, no wasted motion. "Stop the countdown," she said. The floor manager touched his headset. The oven clock halted at 18 minutes. Claire placed the cookbook beside Victor's registered page. Its cloth cover had once been yellow. Years of butter, smoke, and Mia's hands had turned it the color of old wheat. "Where did you get that?" I asked. Claire looked at me for half a second. "From the archive where your wife asked me to keep it." That answer opened a second wound beneath the first. She turned the cookbook to a page near the center. A strip had been cut close to the binding. The torn fibers formed 3 uneven steps. Claire placed Victor's displayed page against the gap. The edges matched. Even Victor stopped smiling. Claire lifted both pieces toward the cameras. "The paper submitted with Chef Crow's registration was removed from this book." Lily stared at the open pages. Tucked near the binding was a flattened curl of orange peel, dark with age. "That's Mom's." "It proves nothing about ownership," Victor said quickly. "Mia kept working copies. I registered the finished formula with her consent." "Then you will have the consent record," Claire replied. "I have something better." His attorney stepped from behind the judge's platform and handed him a folder. Victor opened it with the confidence of a man who had been waiting for this exact moment. My signature appeared at the bottom of the first page. "Evan Brooks, rights assigner." The date was 9 days before Mia died. The room narrowed until there was only the ink and Lily's hand gripping my sleeve. "Dad." I remembered signing papers in a hospital family room at 3 in the morning. Equipment storage, kitchen rent, medical leave. I remembered a pen that kept skipping and Victor telling me he would make sure Mia's work did not disappear while I took care of her. I did not remember that page. Claire read it without touching it. "This transfers all recipes produced under the Crow-Mia Development Partnership." Victor looked at me, regret arranged neatly across his face. "You signed because you knew the truth." "I signed because my wife was dying." The audience went silent enough for the cameras to pick up Lily's breath. Victor's attorney spoke toward the network producer. "The minor is using protected work in a commercial competition. Continuing creates immediate liability." Anna Reed, the scholarship kitchen director, stepped between Lily's counter and security. "No one moves a child until her guardian understands the allegation." "Her guardian executed the transfer," Victor said. Claire closed the cookbook. "The page establishes a dispute. It does not establish that Victor's version was the final recipe, nor that the transfer was informed." Her Aunt Alina rose from the front row. The Vale board chair wore gray silk and an expression that had ended careers without disturbing lunch. "Claire, The network has 48 affiliates carrying this final. Resume the program with the alternate contestant. Not while our scholarship is broadcasting an unresolved accusation against a child. Then remove the accusation from the broadcast and handle it privately. Lily stepped out from behind me. Her chin trembled, but she looked at Victor. Taste mine. Victor blinked. What? If it's exactly yours, taste it. She pointed at the unbaked crown. Mom changed the syrup. She said the first one made the orange taste like perfume. I almost smiled. Mia had said worse. Victor glanced at the stopped oven clock. A child's variation does not change ownership. So you don't know what she changed, Lily said. The audience reacted, not loudly but enough. Alina approached Claire. Every minute of delay costs the company $200,000. The acquisition insurance covering Crow Culinary renews tonight. If you imply his catalog is fraudulent without completed evidence, lenders can freeze the entire division. Claire kept her face still. How many jobs? 2,800 in the culinary group. More if lenders cross-default the hotels. There it was. The cost large enough to make cowardice sound responsible. The executive producer hurried over. We can hold 90 minutes. After that, affiliates cut away and the scholarship loses the slot. Claire looked at Lily, then at me. I wanted her to clear my daughter immediately. I also knew the sign page was real enough to prevent it. 90 minutes, Claire said. No contestant is disqualified. No station is dismantled. The allegation remains unconfirmed. Victor's attorney objected. Claire turned on him. If you want this decided in public, you have chosen a public evidence standard. Produce the consent record. Alina lowered her voice. If you open the acquisition archive, the board will suspend you before the hour is over. Then they should prepare the vote. Claire handed the cookbook to me. I did not take it. You had this for 7 years, I said. The steel in her eyes shifted. And for the first time she looked less like an heiress than the woman who had stood beside Mia in a cramped teaching kitchen before money divided them. Yes, you watched Lily grow up without it. Yes, and now you bring it out when your company is on camera. Her fingers tightened around the worn cover. Be angry after we keep your daughter from carrying Victor's lie for the rest of her life. Lily reached between us and took the book herself. Mom put numbers on everything, she said, opening to the cut seam. If this page is gone, she left the answer somewhere else. The stopped clock above us read 18 minutes. The broadcast hold beneath it read 89 and falling. I looked at Claire. Where is the rest of Mia's archive? Sealed teaching kitchen, basement level 4. Who sealed it? I did. I picked up Lily's copper bowl and handed it to Anna. Keep her station exactly as it is. Anna nodded, and Lily stays with me. Lily opened her mouth to protest. You asked him to taste it, I told her. I'm going to make sure he has to. Claire was already walking toward the service elevator. I followed with Mia's cookbook under my arm and my signature burning in my mind. Behind us, Victor called after the cameras. There is nothing in that kitchen except old equipment. Claire pressed the elevator button. Then he should not be frightened of us opening it. The service elevator required Claire's thumbprint, a brass key, and a code she entered without looking. The doors closed on the ballroom noise. For 4 floors, neither of us spoke. Say it, she said. You kept my wife's last cookbook in a basement. Evidence vault. That sounds warmer. It was part of disputed acquisition property. If I had given it to you while the hold was active, Victor could have claimed evidence tampering. So you did nothing. I preserved it. You preserved paper. Lily needed her mother. Claire turned toward me. Do not confuse what I failed to do with what I did not feel. The elevator opened before I could answer. Basement level 4 had no polished marble or floral scent. Concrete walls, fluorescent lights, a corridor of steel doors labeled with old hotel departments. Claire unlocked the final one. Mia's teaching kitchen waited inside exactly as it had 7 years ago. 6 scarred worktables faced a demonstration counter. Copper pans hung above the stove. A crooked paper star Lily had made in preschool remained taped beside a timer. Dust softened everything except the memory. I stopped in the doorway. Mia used to teach evening classes here after the hotel kitchens closed. Claire had been 27, still working beneath 3 vice presidents who thought an heiress should smile at openings and leave operations to men with matching ties. Mia taught her to laminate dough. Claire taught Mia how to read a licensing contract. They became friends, then partners in a line of teaching kitchens that never opened. Then Victor arrived with television money, and I watched friendship become meetings I was not invited to. "The archive cabinets are at the back," Claire said quietly. My phone rang. "Anna. Evan, Victor's people have filed an injunction request with the network. They want Lily's station covered and the ingredients secured." "Is she all right?" Angry, she corrected a reporter's spelling of cardamom. That sounded like her. Anna continued, "The board's counsel is here. He says Claire has 12 minutes to return the cookbook." Claire heard. "Tell him it remains under my custody. He says the board just suspended your archive authority." Claire's jaw tightened. That was fast. "Eleanor scheduled an emergency vote before the broadcast began," Anna said. "She expected trouble." Claire looked around the sealed kitchen. So did someone else. I ended the call and opened the first cabinet. Inside were inventory ledgers, lesson plans, supplier invoices, and labeled flash drives from an era when people trusted plastic more than clouds. "What are we looking for?" Claire placed the cookbook beneath the work light. Mia numbered revisions in pairs, page number and recording number. Lily was right. At the bottom corner of the cut page, almost hidden by butter, was a penciled 14B. We searched the drives. 12A, 12C, 15B, no 14. "Victor removed more than paper," I said. "Or Mia moved it." I opened another drawer and found a stack of hospital folders. The transfer agreement sat on top. This copy included the pages I remembered. Equipment storage, lease termination, permission for Victor to continue selling existing products while Mia was on medical leave. Then came a schedule marked culinary intellectual property. My signature appeared only on the final page. I never saw this schedule. Claire examined the staple holes. Different spacing. Meaning, the schedule may have been inserted after you signed, or removed when you signed and restored later. Hope rose sharp enough to hurt. Then she pointed to my initials, printed beside a paragraph on the schedule. "Those are mine," I said. "Are they?" I looked closer. The E leaned too far left, but grief had made my handwriting foreign even to me. "I don't know." Claire pulled a chair beside me. Her perfume was faint, cedar and something clean. "Tell me exactly what happened that night." Mia's oxygen dropped. "A nurse asked me to leave while they stabilized her. Victor found me in the family room with a folder. He said the hotel needed signatures before they could store our equipment. Was anyone else present? A vending machine that stole $6. Evan, no witness. Did you raid it?" I wanted to give her an answer that made me a victim without a flaw. "The first pages, not all of it." "Why?" "Because my wife might have been dying 20 feet away." "That explains it. It does not erase it." I stood so quickly the chair rolled back. "Thank you for the distinction." Claire remained seated. "If Victor forged the schedule, your admission makes you credible. If we pretend you signed nothing, his lawyer destroys you in 30 seconds. She was right, which made anger convenient. A tablet mounted by the door lit up. Eleanor's face appeared through the old kitchen intercom. "Claire, the board has voted 7-2 to restore the broadcast immediately. You are ordered to surrender the book." Claire walked to the screen. "You scheduled the vote before Victor made the accusation. We knew he intended to protect his rights. You knew he intended to accuse Lily." Eleanor paused. "We knew there was a conflict. She is 10, and the company is responsible for 2,800 livelihoods. You have 40 minutes before lenders receive automatic notice of a catalog challenge. Return upstairs." "What happens to Lily?" I asked. Eleanor studied me as if searching a balance sheet for my name. "The network will state that her entry was withdrawn pending review. No further accusation will air. So Victor calls her a thief to millions, and the correction is that she disappeared. Mr. Brooks, your signature created this exposure." The sentence hit because it contained truth. Claire switched off the screen. "That was not authority," I said. "That was a resignation." "I know." Her calm was gone now, not dramatically. Just enough for me to see the anger she had trained into stillness. We kept searching. In a drawer beneath the demonstration counter, I found Mia's old metronome. She used it to make students wait through resting times instead of poking dough every 30 seconds. The wooden case rattled when I lifted it. Inside was a tiny brass key and a note in Mia's handwriting. Claire read over my shoulder. 14B is not a recipe. It is the reason. Below it, Mia had drawn an orange peel curling around a square. Claire looked toward the row of original wall tiles behind the stove. One tile bore the same square maker's mark. We loosened it with a palette knife. Behind it sat an old digital recorder sealed in wax paper. The battery was dead. "We need a compatible charger," Claire said. "Production office will have one." The intercom flashed again, this time with Anna's name. Lily appeared on screen before either of us answered. She had flour on both cheeks now. "Dad, they're putting a black cover over Mom's pastry. Anna won't let them touch it. She can't stop the lawyers forever." Lily glanced away, then lowered her voice. "Victor offered me a different scholarship if I say I found the recipe online." My hand closed around the recorder. "What did you say?" I asked if thieves usually get scholarships. Claire almost smiled. "Don't agree to anything," I said. "We found a recording." "Is it Mom?" "I think so." Lily swallowed. "Then listen before they make her quiet again." The screen went dark. Claire took the brass key and opened a narrow cabinet I had assumed was part of the wall. Inside, beneath a layer of dust, sat a charger and a compact security terminal. "Mia planned this," I said. "Mia planned everything except how much it would hurt the people trying to protect her." I looked at Claire. "You sound angry with a dead woman." "I am." She connected the recorder. "Love does not become honest just because the person who lied is gone." A charging light blinked red. Upstairs, the hold clock dropped below an hour. Downstairs, my dead wife's voice waited behind a battery that had not been charged in 7 years. The recorder reached 3% and refused to move faster. Claire searched the security terminal while I watched a red battery icon blink with all the urgency of a man waiting for a kettle. "The camera archive predates our current system," she said. "Most of it was migrated during the acquisition, by Victor's division, by a contractor reporting to my office." "That sounds reassuring. Your sarcasm becomes more efficient when you're frightened." "Practice." She found a directory of kitchen recordings. The dates ended 6 weeks before Mia entered the hospital. "Deleted?" I asked. "Transferred, there's a destination code." Claire wrote it on her palm. "VGH legal cold. Your legal archive." She nodded. I stared at her. "You had the footage too." "I did not know this file existed." "You knew the catalog was disputed." The silence answered before she did. Claire unplugged the terminal. "Mia challenged 3 registrations after Victor announced the acquisition. She withdrew the challenge 4 days later." "Why?" "She would not tell me." "And you bought his company anyway." "My family bought it. I was deputy counsel." "You signed the review." Her gaze held mine. "Yes, there are betrayals that arrive loudly enough to fight. This one settled into place like a missing stair beneath my foot. You reviewed Victor's ownership while Mia was sick. Then you locked her evidence for 7 years. I flagged the disputed recipes. Alina removed the flag after Mia withdrew her claim, and you signed the transfer." "Did you tell me?" "No." "Did you tell Lily?" "No." "Then stop saying you preserved anything." She absorbed it without defense, which only made me want one. The recorder clicked, 5%. Claire picked up the cookbook. "You are right about what my silence did. You are wrong if you think I can repair it by becoming careless now. Your board has already suspended you. Archive authority, not executive access." She crossed to the teaching counter and removed her jacket, folding it over a chair. For a moment I remembered her years ago, sleeves rolled above her wrists, swearing at laminated dough because Mia refused to let her use a ruler. "What are you doing?" Cold archive requests require 2 executives or 1 executive, and the original legal reviewer. "You." "Also me." "Convenient." It was designed to prevent one person from hiding evidence. "How is that working?" Her mouth tightened, "Poorly." I turned away before sympathy could soften the question. On the wall, a class photograph showed Mia and Claire shoulder to shoulder behind 12 exhausted students. Claire had flour in her hair and an expression I had never seen in a boardroom, unguarded pride. Someone had drawn a crown above her head. Mia had crossed it out and written apprentice. "She kept that picture in our kitchen," I said. Claire looked at it. "I stopped visiting after the acquisition. I noticed." Mia said she needed someone inside the company, more than she needed another friend beside her hospital bed. "And you accepted that." I was good at accepting any sentence that let me keep working. The recorder light moved another fraction. Neither of us looked at the photograph again. She entered credentials and opened a video call to the company records officer. The officer appeared from a home office, tie crooked, alarm replacing sleep. "Ms. Vale," the board circulated a restriction. "The restriction applies prospectively. I am requesting material under my original reviewer authority. I need a second executive. Alina will refuse. Then I cannot release it." Claire turned the screen toward the recorder and cookbook. "A minor was accused on our broadcast using a page physically removed from disputed evidence. If you withhold the archive after receiving notice, your name will appear on the preservation failure." The officer rubbed his face. "You always make good morning sound like a threat." "It is not morning." He approved temporary access. Files populated the screen. Acquisition interviews, scan logs, kitchen security footage, and a legal memo signed by Claire. She opened the memo before I could. Subject: Crow Catalog Authorship Exposure. Her conclusion was visible in the first paragraph. The registrations could not be relied upon until Mia's challenge was independently resolved. "You wrote this," I said. "Yes." "Alina overruled you." "Yes." "And you stayed." "Yes." The third answer was quieter. "Why?" "Because I believed I could protect the teaching kitchens, the staff, and whatever evidence remained if I stayed inside. I told myself leaving would hand everything to Alina." She met my eyes. "Then I discovered staying can become a story cowards tell about access." It was the first honest thing she had offered that did not ask me to forgive her. The recorder reached 12%. I searched the video index for 14B nothing. Claire tried dates, ingredients, Mia's employee number. No result. Then I remembered the pressed orange peel. "She used ingredients as passwords," I said, "not names." Claire typed Citra's Rest. A hidden folder opened. The first video showed Mia alone at the demonstration counter, thinner than I remembered but still impatient with the camera. She held an orange peel beside the recorder. No sound played from the terminal. The audio file was stored separately. In the silent footage, Mia cut a strip from the cookbook, wrote on it, and placed it into an envelope marked Victor. My stomach dropped. "She gave him the page," I said. Claire watched the screen. "An early version. That is not what you promised upstairs." "I promised the page came from the book." "It did. And now Victor can show this clip and say she gave it freely. Unless the recording explains why." The battery crawled to 16%. The teaching kitchen door opened behind us. Victor stood there with Alina and two security officers. He had removed his chef's jacket. In a dark suit, without studio lights warming his face, he looked older and more tired. "You found the video," he said. Claire moved between him and the terminal. "You knew where it was." "I knew Mia recorded herself constantly. I did not know your archive kept this." Alina held out her hand. "The board has suspended Claire as acting chief executive pending review. Surrender all archive material." Claire did not move. "Who holds temporary authority?" "I do." "Then you are personally responsible for preserving evidence affecting the acquisition warranty." Alina's expression hardened. "And you are responsible for manufacturing a public crisis around a claim its author withdrew." Victor stepped closer to me. "Mia gave me that page. You just watched her. Why did you cut her name off?" "Because the product launched under my company. That was our agreement." "Where is the agreement with her signature?" "Your signature transferred her interest." I hated how easily he returned to it. The recorder reached 20% and chimed. Victor's eyes flicked toward the sound. That was enough. I pulled the charger from the wall, pocketed the recorder, and handed the cookbook to Claire. Security blocked the door. Alina said, "Do not turn this into theft, Mr. Brooks." Interesting choice of word. Claire retrieved her jacket and faced the officers. "Neither of you is required to obey an instruction that destroys or conceals disputed evidence. Call company counsel, not a leaner's counsel, and ask. They hesitated. Victor's phone rang. He checked the message and looked at me. The network has resumed pre-show coverage, he said. Your daughter is speaking to a camera. Every thought left my head except Lily. We pushed past security and ran for the elevator. On the monitor outside, Lily stood behind her covered station while a reporter held a microphone too close to her face. My dad signed something he didn't read, she said. That was wrong, but it doesn't make Mr. Crow's lie true. Victor stopped beside me. For one instant, shame crossed his face. Then the elevator arrived, and he put his television smile back on. The elevator doors opened onto a corridor full of people pretending not to stare. Anna reached us first. Lily is safe, angry but safe. The network wants a statement in 6 minutes. They can have silence, I said. Silence is being filled for you. She pointed toward the ballroom. On every monitor, Victor's attorney was explaining that grief could distort memory and that a child could innocently repeat a family misunderstanding. Lily sat behind her station with her arms folded. When she saw me, she climbed down from the stool and came straight to the recorder in my hand. Did Mom leave something? We think so. Then play it where everyone can hear. Claire crouched until they were eye level. It may say things none of us like. Lily studied her. That is usually why adults hide things. Anna made a sound that might have been a laugh if the room had been less dangerous. The recorder showed 23%. Enough for playback, perhaps not enough to survive another interruption. Claire led us into the control booth while the network producer protested through his headset. You suspended my authority, Claire told him. You did not suspend the fire system. This recording concerns evidence in an active rights dispute. Put it through the emergency channel or explain to counsel why you refused. He put it through. The ballroom speakers crackled. Mia's voice arrived under the hum of an old refrigerator. Before she spoke, I heard a spoon strike ceramic 3 times. Mia always did that when she was thinking. Tap, turn the bowl, tap again. For 4 years I had avoided recordings because I feared they would make her absence new. Instead, that ordinary irritation returned her to the room more completely than any memorial photograph. Lily recognized it too. Her shoulders lowered, then squared. She used the green bowl, Lily whispered. I nodded. It had a chip near the handle because I once dropped a sheet pan onto it. Mia made me repair the bowl with food-safe gold lacquer, then charged me $2 whenever I called the result ugly. The memory did not prove ownership. It proved why ownership mattered. A recipe was not merely a list Victor had made efficient. It was a trail of choices, corrections, jokes, and names. Kitchen note, October 17th. Victor can use the original Crown formula for the hotel trial. Shared development, shared credit. The final version stays out of the catalog until Lily's authorship trust is signed. There was a pause, then the scrape of a bowl. He says a child cannot own a future recipe. I say that is exactly what inheritance is. Victor entered the booth as his younger voice answered on the recording. The company will never launch a product with a 10-year contingency attached. Then the company does not get the correction. It is orange peel and resting time, Mia. Then you will not miss it. The recording ended in a soft mechanical click. Nobody spoke. Victor's face had gone still. That proves I had permission to use the formula. The early formula, Claire said. The commercially tested formula. Whatever she changed afterward was not part of our development agreement. You cut the page from her book. She handed it to me. He was telling enough truth to make the lie difficult. Then the recorder advanced by itself. A second file began. Mia sounded weaker. Her breaths came too close to the microphone. Claire, if you found this, I failed to tell Evan again. I gripped the edge of the console. Do not release the dispute while he is trying to keep the bakery and me alive. He will fight Victor, the hotel, the weather, God, anything except sit beside me and admit he cannot fix this. Hold the book. Give him time after. Claire closed her eyes. Mia continued. That is not permission to bury it forever. It is one frightened woman asking another frightened woman for a delay. If you turn it into control, that part is yours. The file ended. I looked at Claire. How much time were you planning to give me? At first, 3 months. It has been 4 years. Every quarter the cost became larger. The catalog expanded. More hotels used it. More jobs depended on it. I kept telling myself I needed one clean exit. For the company. For everyone. That word is convenient when the one person excluded from it is standing in front of you. Lily had followed us into the booth. Her face was pale, but her voice was steady. Mom was wrong too. The sentence hurt because it was true. I knelt beside her. Yes, she should have told us. Yes, can I still love her? That is the easy part. I swallowed. The hard part is loving someone without turning every mistake into a holy decision. She leaned against me for one breath, then stepped back. She did not need me to collapse on her behalf. On the other side of the glass, a leaner had reached the ballroom floor. She signaled for the broadcast to cut. The producer shook his head. The emergency feed was already mirrored by 3 news sites. Victor pointed at the recorder. You have permission, a private family request, and an unregistered modification. You do not have theft. Lily opened the cookbook on the console. The pressed strip of orange peel slid from its pocket and landed beside the recorder. She picked it up carefully. Dad, Mom always dried peel on camera days. She dried peel every week. Not like this, see the blue sugar. Tiny blue crystals clung to the rind. Vale's old teaching kitchens used blue sanding sugar only during their student broadcast workshops, so it would read against stainless steel. Claire turned toward Anna. Were the October workshops archived? Everything in Studio 4 was recorded locally before transmission. Where are the masters? Anna's expression changed. Not in the acquisition archive, in broadcast storage. The producer checked his terminal. Storage was migrated 6 years ago. Date. I read the recorder label. October 17th. He searched. One result appeared, protected by a red access banner. Owner authorization required. The listed owner was Vale Heritage Holdings. The producer received 3 calls at once. Advertisers were threatening to pull out if a child remained accused on their feed. The network's attorney was threatening to pull out if evidence remained hidden. A hotel union representative wanted assurance that hourly staff would not pay for an executive dispute. There was no clean constituency waiting to reward courage. Every possible decision had an invoice. A leaner entered the booth. You have heard the recording. It establishes a contractual disagreement, not criminal conduct. End this before speculation destroys people who had no part in it. Claire held out her hand. Authorize the archive. No, then I will call an emergency board vote. And lose it. Your suspension removed your deciding proxy. I do not need to win control. I need the board to record who voted against preserving evidence. For the first time that day, Elena looked afraid of her. Victor's phone buzzed again. He read the message, then faced me. I can end this without humiliating Lily, he said. Full scholarship, public co-credit, a funded trust in her mother's name. You withdraw the accusation, and we call it a misunderstanding between collaborators. Lily looked at the covered dough on her station. Would my name be there because it is mine, she asked, or because you want my dad quiet? Victor did not answer quickly enough. The broadcast clock restarted on every monitor. 12 minutes until the network returned live. Claire opened the board channel. I removed Lily's dough from beneath the cover. Truth had finally become expensive enough that everyone could see what it was worth. The board appeared on 12 small screens around the control booth, each director framed by a home office or the back seat of a car. Elena took the central chair, as if she had arranged the emergency herself. Claire stood alone before the camera. Motion to release the October 17th Studio 4 master to the Scholarship Broadcast and Independent Council, she said. One director frowned. The exposure could trigger catalog-wide claims. Yes, loan covenants, potentially, employment impact, material if we respond badly. Elena leaned forward. There is another option. Claire withdraws the motion, remains chief executive, and commissions a private audit. Mr. Crow offers corrective credit without an admission. The child is protected. The company survives. Protected meant displayed in a kinder cage. Victor found Lily beside her station. Your mother wanted people to eat her work, he said. I made that possible. You made people think it was yours. I made it famous. Those are not always different things. I stepped between them. He did not retreat. You signed the transfer, Evan. Do not teach her that every painful contract becomes invalid because you regret it. I am teaching her that my mistake is mine. It is not a receipt for her name. Take the offer. The scholarship alone changes her life. Then let her earn it without purchasing my silence. Lily tugged my sleeve. Dad, move. I moved. She looked directly at Victor. If your recipe is the same, let me bake mine beside yours. The room quieted. Victor glanced toward the cameras. He understood television better than any of us. Refusing a 10-year-old's bake-off would look worse than losing one. Agreed, he said. Same ingredients, same equipment. Different instructions, Lily replied. Anna reset both stations. 90 minutes had become 8. The dough had already rested. Only shaping, proofing, glazing, and baking remained. Lily placed Mia's grated peel in warm cream and waited. Victor mixed his peel directly into the sugar. Why wait? A reporter called. Lily did not look up. Because fresh peel has oil and bitterness. Warm cream pulls the fragrance out. Resting lets the bitter part settle. Mom wrote 47 minutes, but she discovered that after Mr. Crow's page was cut out. Victor smiled thinly. A sensory preference, not a new recipe. Then yours will taste the same. The board vote began behind the glass. Director by director, red lights appeared beside Claire's motion. Elena spoke while the count advanced. Withdraw it now. I will restore your authority and preserve the apprenticeship fund. Claire looked through the glass at Lily's hands folding the dough. You taught me that control is how responsible people protect others, she said. Mia taught me what happens when protection never ends. She faced the directors. I am adding a second motion. If release passes, I resign as chief executive immediately and place catalog operations under an independent transition manager. Existing employees remain funded for 90 days from the Vale Family Reserve while claims are assessed. Elena's composure cracked. You cannot pledge that reserve. I can pledge my beneficial distribution. That is your inheritance. So was Mia's work. 2 red votes changed to green. Then a third. The count tied. One director had not voted. He was a hotel manager who had started as a dishwasher in Victor's first Vale kitchen. My staff did not steal a recipe, he said. Do not punish them for executives who may have. Claire answered without hesitation. The transition fund protects payroll. Independent counsel protects them from being ordered to destroy records. Vote on the evidence, not on fear. His light turned green. The archive unlocked. For several seconds, nobody celebrated. A green vote did not keep a dishwasher employed or settle a loan covenant. Claire sent the transition terms to counsel before the footage loaded. Payroll first, executive bonuses frozen, franchise operators barred from passing immediate relabeling costs to hourly staff. It was not a perfect shield. It was the difference between accepting a consequence herself and announcing that strangers would share it. The producer dragged the master file into the live queue. As the network countdown reached 10 seconds, Victor's pastry went into the left oven. Lily's went into the right. The broadcast returned on Claire's face. What you are about to see was withheld by Vale Heritage Holdings, she said. I participated in that delay. Effective now, I am no longer chief executive. The company will release the relevant archive and submit the catalog to independent review. The old Studio 4 footage filled the screens. Mia stood at a stainless table, thinner than I remembered but moving with impatient precision. Victor tasted the first crown and nodded. Mia pointed to a card marked trial, then placed another card beneath the cookbook cover. Young Clare entered with trust papers. Victor picked up the second card. Lily Brooks' authorship reserve, he read. You are serious. Completely. She is 6. She is the reason I finished it. He set the paper aside. The hotel will not carry a child's future claim. Mia took the final card back. Then carry the trial version. After Mia left the frame, Victor reopened the cookbook. He removed the trial page, then photographed the final card. He hesitated before tearing it free. That hesitation mattered. It showed knowledge, not confusion. Elena's younger voice came from behind the camera. The acquisition closes Friday. Clean the catalog before legal sees it. The ballroom erupted. Present-day Alina did not move. Victor stared at his younger hand on the screen. The correction was developed during a paid workshop. The rights still transferred. Maybe, I said. That is for the audit, but you knew whose name you removed. The oven timers rang. Anna brought both crowns to the judging table. They looked almost identical. Braided gold, clear glaze, thin strips of candied peel. The judges tasted Victor's first. One praised the structure. Another noted a sharp finish. Then they tasted Lily's. The room changed before anyone spoke. Orange rose through the warm bread without the bitter edge. Cardamom arrived after it, not over it. The pastry tasted like sunlight held inside butter. The head judge took a second bite. She broke both crowns open and held the centers toward the cameras. Victor's crumb was even, but a wet ring of peel marked the braid. Lily's infusion had distributed through the dough. No single bite carried the whole burden of orange. The difference was visible now as well as tasted. Scaling is contribution, the judge said to Victor. Distribution is contribution. Neither permits you to erase the author of the formulation you scaled. The second judge turned to Lily. Did your mother teach you this exact bake? No, she left enough truth for me to test it. Victor watched her, and something in him surrendered before his face did. The resting step changes the extraction, she said. This is not decorative. It changes the balance of the entire crown. Lily wiped flour from her cheek. That is why Mom left the page out. Victor looked at her across the table. Your mother was the better baker, he said quietly. She wanted you to say the work was hers. His eyes moved to the cameras. For once, he chose the sentence that cost him something. The final crown is Mia Brooks's work, he said. I removed her conditions and published it under my catalog. Lily did not steal it. The applause began in one corner and spread until it shook the glass. Lily did not smile at the audience. She looked at me and exhaled. The judges placed the scholarship seal beside her pastry. Behind them, security removed Victor's name from the live program. Claire took off her CEO badge and set it beside Mia's open cookbook. The two objects made almost no sound. They ended an empire anyway. The cameras wanted a cleaner ending than the truth provided. They wanted Victor escorted out in disgrace. Claire crowned brave, Lily lifted onto someone's shoulders, and me absolved by dramatic music. Instead, lawyers arrived. Victor remained in a conference room under catalog suspension, while independent counsel copied his records. Alina stepped aside as board chair pending an investigation. The network removed the accusation from its rebroadcast and placed Lily's exoneration at the beginning, not after an advertisement. My signature stayed exactly where it had always been. Counsel explained that the release might be narrowed because its recipe schedule appeared to have been inserted after I signed. It might also survive in part because I had accepted storage payments and never asked what I was transferring. So I was careless, I said. The attorney folded her hands. Legally, that is among the kinder descriptions. Lily sat beside me, drawing a crown in the margin of her witness form. He knows, she said. I did. Claire entered without assistance. The absence around her looked larger than an entourage. The transition agreement passed, she said. 90 days of protected payroll. The hotels keep operating while disputed products are relabeled or removed. No employee is required to sign a secrecy amendment. And you, I asked, unemployed by unanimous vote. Lily looked up. Do rich unemployed people still have houses? Claire considered this. Usually too many. Then you will survive. Your confidence is reassuring. The scholarship committee met the next morning without Claire, Alina, or anyone from Victor's company. Anna chaired it. Lily received the full award for her own bake, not as compensation and not in exchange for silence. When they asked how the recipe should be credited, she rejected every sentence the adults proposed. Not inspired by, she said. That makes it sound like Mom saw a sunset. Anna hid a smile. What do you want? Lily read from the card she had written. Orange Cardamom Crown by Mia Brooks, with early workshop development by Mia Brooks and Victor Crow. Final infusion method by Mia Brooks. Preserved and completed by Lily Brooks. She looked at me. Dad did the dishes. An essential technical contribution, I said. The committee accepted her wording exactly. Victor's public admission did not settle every claim. His attorneys argued that commercialization, scaling, and distribution created separate rights. Mia's trust claimed the final method and profits tied to it. The audit froze 32 catalog items, cleared 11, and sent the rest into negotiation. Truth did not destroy the company in one cinematic night. It made the company do slower, more honest work. Victor resigned from the scholarship and lost his program. Months later, he provided development notebooks that helped separate the recipes he had genuinely created from the ones Vale had acquired carelessly. I did not forgive him. I also did not need him to become a monster in order to understand what he had done. Aliner sent a written statement taking responsibility for the archive instruction. It was 4 pages long and contained no apology until the final paragraph. Claire called that progress. For the first 2 weeks after the broadcast, our bakery had a line around the block. Half the customers wanted the famous crown. The other half wanted to photograph Lily. We sold the pastry under Mia's name and prohibited cameras near the kitchen. On the 3rd morning, Lily removed a handmade sign from the door. "No questions about the thief show," it had said. She replaced it with one that read, "Ask what we bake today." I pretended not to be proud enough to frame it. Claire came by after closing with 2 boxes of files and no legal reason to stay. She had spent the day interviewing candidates for the independent transition office. Because she no longer controlled the scholarship, the catalog, or our commercial access, we could finally occupy the same room without a conflict disclosure between us. She placed a key on the counter. "Studio 4, she said. "The board surrendered the lease. An education trust purchased it with non-Vale funding. Anna agreed to direct it if you teach 1 weekend a month. Is this another decision made for me?" Her hand stopped on the key. "It is an offer. You may refuse it, insult it, or take 6 months to answer. I am learning verbs." Slowly, painfully, Lily emerged from the pantry carrying 3 mugs of cocoa. "He is going to say yes." "I have not decided. You alphabetized the class ingredients yesterday." Claire accepted a mug, compelling evidence. The teaching kitchen opened 8 weeks later under an independent board with 2 pastry instructors, 1 labor representative, Anna, and a rotating student seat. No sponsor could own a student's work. Every class card carried the contributor's name before the school's logo. I taught the first session on recipe records. "Write down every change," I told 12 students. Not because memory is weak, because powerful people become very confident about what memory should contain. Claire watched from the back in jeans and a dark coat, looking less like an heiress and more dangerous for it. After class, she helped Lily stack bowls. "You are doing that wrong," Lily said. "They are bowls. They are graduated sizes." Claire rearranged them without argument. I leaned against the doorway. "Growth. Do not ruin it." We closed the kitchen together. Outside, rain silvered the street and made the hotel towers look farther away than they were. Claire held the door while Lily ran to Anna's car. "I owe you an apology without a strategy attached," she said. "That sounds difficult for you. Nearly fatal." She faced me fully. "I am sorry I treated delay as wisdom. I am sorry I kept Mia's request long after it became my excuse. And I am sorry you learned the truth with cameras pointed at your daughter." I let the words remain plain. "I am sorry I signed whatever let me leave the hospital fastest," I said. I called it devotion because fear sounded worse. "What happens now?" "Now we stop making promises for people who are not in the room. And for the people who are." I glanced toward Anna's car. Lily was pretending not to watch through the rear window. "Dinner," I said. "1 dinner. No board agenda, no scholarship report, no emergency evidence." Claire's smile arrived slowly, as if it had passed through several internal committees. "I can approve those terms." "You do not approve them alone." "I can agree to those terms." "Better." The next Sunday, Lily opened Mia's cookbook on the bakery counter. The torn place still showed near the center. We did not repair it so perfectly that the damage disappeared. A conservator had reinforced the seam and placed the recovered pages in clear sleeves, each with its history attached. Past them waited a clean page. No cameras were present. No one counted down. Only the 3 of us. Lily uncapped Mia's old fountain pen, tested the ink on scrap paper, and began to write. Claire and I stood on opposite sides of the counter, close enough to read but careful not to lean over her shoulder. At the top, Lily wrote her own name. Beneath it she wrote, "First version." Then she looked up at us. "This means I am allowed to change it later." "That is the point," I said. She returned to the page. The cookbook stayed open while the ink dried, scarred, honest, and finally holding a future no one else had written for her.